sell insurance. We're not in the realm of selling insurance. Are there certain companies that are kind of more specialized in that you would maybe refer over to, or?
I don't handle insurance myself, and right now I haven't found anyone I could sell cyber insurance to, or
Okay.
would refer anyone to cyber insurance to. I would suggest reaching out to your insurance agent for your business and asking them, and then read through the policy. And if you want to view that policy from a doability point, we could certainly help you with that.
Okay.
I mean,
So be-
made it impossible for you to claim that you were protected. It
okay.
had this one statement in that you looked at and said you can't do that. It's
Gotcha.
impossible to do.
So before someone goes out and buys cyber insurance, if they want to work with Dave, the guru at Essential Consulting, uh, maybe just have, maybe you guys just take a quick peek at that policy together.
Yeah, and that would not be a big horrible thing to worry about a bill for. We're more about helping small business people out and making win-win situations.
Nice. I dig that. I like that. That's why we work together.
Yeah.
All right. So, and I know that you already touched on this a little bit. We throw out the scenario of like $100,000 ransom attack, but here's another question: is how do cyber insurance policies typically cover cyber extortion and or ransomware attacks?
Basically, they cover it basically on a loss. How much money are you losing per day? So they don't get specifics of, at least the one I was looking at, wasn't getting the specifics of types of attacks or anything.
Okay.
Basically, if you had a cyber incident where there was a Trojan, a ransom, your credentials were stolen, you had a business loss due to a cyber attack, is what it said. And now
Okay.
I can't speak for all policies, but that's what mine was.
Okay.
And then it would kick in up to this amount of money.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
Nice.
and to get it, I had to go through and answer a question about our practices here and whether or not we had things like endpoint protection. We had firewalls that were constantly updated, things like that.
Gotcha. Okay. And then let's go. So again, worst case scenario, but actually a scenario that does happen more often than not. Say your company, you a cyber attack. What is something that you would work with, say like a company after that's happened, just kind of like a lessons learned, or what would you do as kind of a, how do we from this so that this doesn't happen again, or at least reduce the likelihood of it?
Sure. So it comes down to, a lot of it really comes down to end user training and
Okay.
policies and practices. Most of the breaches that have happened recently were through credential theft. And if we want to talk about the MGM one, where they were losing between $8 and $42 million a day, nobody will really say, but I'm thinking it's more around the 42 million a day. And they decided not to pay the ransom. The way they got in is the hacker called the 800 support line for their IT and said, "Hey, I'm Dave Anderson," who is a guy. It wasn't Dave Anderson, but they named the guy who was fairly high up in the IT chain and said, "Hey, I lost my password. Can you reset it and tell me what it is?"
Okay.
And they did over the
Oops.
phone.
Oh.
It was totally unbelievable. That's how it happened. So once that guy had access, the hacker had access, he saw that he had access to everything because everything was on a flat network, meaning he could see the card readers, he could see the payment terminals, the card readers for the doors. He could see the payment terminals, everywhere. He could see the ATM machines everywhere. He could see the cash stores everywhere. He could see the gambling machines. They put coins into and press buttons. He could see all those. So boom, ransomware went out to everything, and all the controllers in those machines are little tiny computers. So they all got locked up. Every bit of it got locked up. No gambling, no getting into rooms, no buying coffee, no registration, no checkout. So the lessons learned there is A, do not have all things on a flat network. Card readers for doors ought to be on their own network with their own administrator. Two, you don't have one administrator that can access everything in an organization that big. And
Yeah.
three, you have a policy. You never give out a password over the phone.
Yeah.
Those three things would have stopped that completely. That is that attack. If the phone person had hung up on the attacker, it would have stopped right there. They might have tried something else, an email later on. It would have stopped it right there. Flat network is what a lot of IT guys do because it makes managing the network is simple.
Yeah.
And that is important to them because nobody, big companies always have understaffed IT because it's a cost center, not a revenue center. And so IT guys always push to achieve more with less. So to keep things easy, they may do things that makes their life tenable, but can cause security risks.
Yeah.
And that's where we have to look at the win-win for the company. And some of that times the win-win from the company is you employ smart, lean IT by investing in tools that help them manage things easier, but you still do things like network segmentation and no one admin for everything in a big company.
Yeah. So this is me that knowing a little bit about security, but not anywhere in your realm. My just thought is, okay, so if say in this MGM situation, they have a password on the phone, isn't there still like 2FA or like multiple 2FA set up?
Apparently not.
Okay.
There's belief systems that come into here that people, and I think it's because, first of all, this is IT is complicated and is even more complicated. So when things are complicated that people can't understand in a 1 minute, their native thing is this isn't a problem because I can't do anything about it anyways. And there actually is stuff you can do, but it's not going to happen to me because it's too complex. I don't have time to think about
Yeah.
it. And that's what the some CEOs are kept awake at night by this, and other CEOs sleep blissfully believing this will never happen to their company. And then you have disinformation out there by um, IT people, and this is not all IT people, this is a few, one that I know of, who profiteers off this, says to his clients, there's no way to stop this. So when it happens to him, he charges them a very high rate to fix everything, and then acts like a hero for repairing it, and then goes away happy and well paid on a different model than we are. We do not wait for things to break and then fix them. We secure things and we put things in that are stable and keep operating instead of a break fix model.
Yeah.
The IT guys run a break fix model who make money off the break fix model. Some of them, not many, but some of them are disreputable and will lead you to believe there's no threats out there and that they have it covered when they don't have it covered and they know that. And they'll
Unfortunately.
profit when it comes time to fix everything.
Yeah. Yeah. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's now there's right now there's no laws um, governing cyber attacks or fixing cyber attacks or stopping cyber attacks. In the US, there's no real law about it anywhere. I mean,
Okay.
we do have laws saying that you can't hack another person's computer, but that's hard to,
Rightfully so.
yeah, yeah, but that's hard to do from hard to enforce on a nation state.
Yeah, this is what I love is like every time that we get the opportunity to chat, I just learn more and more and more. So we've gone through uh, tips, tricks. We've gone through a lot of elements of the cyber insurance coverage checklist. Um, like, what would be a great way for like companies that want to, maybe they're fully into cybersecurity, or maybe they're just starting to put their toes into it. What would be a good way that they could get in touch with you or even like, I guess, do you help do like an initial audit with the company, or like, what is there a cost for that, or
Yep,
how does that work if people want to engage with you?
yeah, sure. So certainly um, we have a lighter audit than the big heavy audit we do on a regular basis. That is like an entry audit, and we do that for no cost.
Okay.
And so we can just sit down with you and ask you like 20 questions, kind of like the insurance company, and say, are you doing A, B, and C? How are you handling D, E, and F? Have you thought about G, H, and I? And what keeps you awake at night?
Okay.
And so from that, we derive talking points. Um, when you ask them, are their firewalls updated regularly? They'll probably say, I don't know, because that's something a lot of people don't know. And we'll ask, you have IT people who take care of that? And sometimes the answer is no. Somebody came and installed it, and that was years ago, and nobody knows we don't use that company anymore, or that person moved on, and so they won't know the answers to some of this stuff. And then that's okay. Well, we should find that out, because that's a security vulnerability.
Yep.
And so we talk about what the vulnerabilities are and ways that we could start determining their scope and depth, and then mitigation steps.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Okay. Size companies that you like to that you're a good fit for?
1 to 2, up to 40 or 50.
Okay.
The 40 or 50, you start having your own IT, and we're certainly happy to come in and work with IT. We're very happy to. The trouble is, a lot of times IT people aren't happy to work with us, I found,
And why is that?
because nobody likes to be told they're doing things wrong. And I try never to say that. My approach with IT is, and it's true with all IT people, you have more to do than you can do. And that is not your fault. That is fault of the structure of the company and the industry. So because you don't update the firmware, isn't a fault on you, it's that it's not on your must do on a regular basis, and takes priority over all the other tickets that come in until it's done. So I try and put ourselves on the side of the IT team,
Yeah.
but it seems like they still, in the end, have the last word. And a lot of that time is, we're good, we don't need them. We don't even want an audit. And the audit is a threat because it will point out things that are risks.
Yeah.
I can remind executives that it's not the IT's job to, and if so, where is the time you're allowing them to mitigate or identify and mitigate those risks? And so we can either help augment the IT team by managing that, or training the IT team and help management understand the importance of this security. So they grant the IT team time to do this.
Gotcha. So then it's probably the last one then for the interview part of this. But so if you are a IT professional, small business owner, medium sized business owner, and you're looking for cyber insurance, what are like the top three things that are must dos that you have to do right away if you're considering getting cyber insurance?
You need to make sure your networking equipment is up to date with firmware.
Okay.
You need to make sure your endpoints have protection on it. And you need to make sure you have decent password policies.
Okay. And you can
Now,
help with all three of those, right?
yes, and some of them are now asking for enforced 2FA on everything.
Gotcha.
So those are like the big things on those.
Gotcha. Perfect.
And I can help with any, we can help with any or all of that.